Hi, I'm Carrie, welcome to my channel. Thanks so much to those of you who commented get well wishes on my last video when I mentioned that I have COVID. I am feeling a lot better now, however somebody did ask me what the time was before and I told them it was 7:85, so the brain fog is lingering. But I've heard that one of the best things you can do for brain fog is actually filming yourself talking to a camera and then posting it online. So here we are, and what could go wrong? Today we are doing the Booktube Numbers Tag. Thank you to Leo Bancroft for tagging me, and also to Jim's Books, Reading and Stuff for creating this tag. I will leave links to both of those channels in the description box. Right, so I'm just going to plow into these questions. The first question is, what was your first Booktube video? I don't want to talk about it. No, my first Booktube video was a very shaky and nervous review of the amazing book called Felix Ever After by Kaysen Callender. Question 2 is, how many books are you currently reading? Well, I'm not huge on reading multiple books at once. I've always preferred to focus on one thing at a time, give it my full attention. Big fan of monogamy. And this is especially so now that I am reviewing the books that I'm reading. Give it my undivided attention, review it, and then move on. Otherwise I might get the books all mixed up and start talking about Jane Goodall going to Hogwarts and the Fellowship of the March Sisters. However, actually going against that point, I did start reading multiple books last week while I was sick, but that was more coming from a place of deep confusion. Started A Court of Thorns and Roses for the first time, was enjoying it, but then I decided to start A Ship of Brides by Jojo Moyes, which was fine as well, and then I decided to read A Terrible Kindness by Jo Browning Rowe. So I was a bit out of sorts. But yeah, usually one at a time for me. Question 3 is, what were the 3 top books that I read last year? This is tricky because I didn't join Goodreads until about a month and a half ago, so I don't have a record, and my memory is quite unreliable on a good day. But having consulted my bookshelf, my actual bookshelf, not this movie set, I found 3 books that I really enjoyed reading last year, and they were Lilac Girls by Martha Hall Kelly, which is set during World War II, and it's written from the perspective of 3 very different ladies in very different situations during the war. There's a young German doctor, a Polish teenager, and an American socialite, and their stories all end up entwining, and it's a very emotional and compelling read. Let me know if you've read it and what you thought of it. Then we have Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. This copy's taken a beating. I hope nobody takes offence to that. It's seen better days. Spent much of its life in a suitcase, and you know, I don't like reading like it's a secret. Like, I'm gonna open a book, I'm gonna open it, and things are gonna happen to the spine, and that's just the circle of life. So this is about a woman who visits the Scottish Highlands just after the Second World War, and she ends up getting transported back to the 1700s, where she gets caught up in the conflict between a gang of Scottish outlaws and the British soldiers. There's also romance and conflict about whether she should or can return home, and it's a great TV series, but I wouldn't watch it with my parents again. And lastly, 19 Minutes by Jodi Picoult. This is based around a school shooting in a small town in America and the investigation that follows. It also explores the pasts of the characters that were involved and what led to the incident and the court case. I caught it. Question 4. How many books did I read last year? None. I don't really read. No, I actually have no idea, and to be honest, probably not enough books to proudly announce a figure on this forum. But this year is the first year in a while where I have felt like I have the energy and mental capacity to take on more reading and actually focus on it without having other things kind of taking up my energy. So yeah, I guess the answer is I was reading last year, but I don't know exactly how many books I read, because reading wasn't a major focus of mine like it is this year. Clicked my neck. Question 5. How many books have I rated 5 stars this year? 3. The first one was The Book of Hope by Jane Goodall, which is interesting because I don't usually read non-fiction. The second one is One Italian Summer by Rebecca Searle. And the third one was The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. And I've actually posted reviews of each of those books on my channel, if you're interested. Question 6. Do I have a reading target for this year? The target is simply to read. No, I don't have a specific number of books that I'm trying to get through this year, but I do have a target of how many Booktube videos I want to be uploading, which is at least 1 a week, but aiming for 2. And I have actually been doing 2 videos per week, mostly so far, so I'm outdoing myself. Set the bar low and you will succeed. And that in itself is a reading target because most of my videos are book reviews. So I guess I'm trying to read 1, ideally 2 books a week this year. But you know, a longer book might take a week or more for me to finish. That's fine. I don't want to read in a rush. And I'm definitely the type to turn a leisurely activity like reading into something stressful, so just going to try and veer away from targets too much. Question 7. How many pages is the book that you are reading right now? I'm currently reading A Terrible Kindness by Jo Browning Rowe on my Kobo, and it's 882 pages on the Kobo, but Google says the print version is 400 pages, so not super long. I do prefer shorter books because I sort of expect longer books to have bits that I'm going to have to push through, which is a shame. Yeah, long book prejudice is real. Justice for long books. Question 8. How long are my videos? Will you tell me? I think so far my videos have been in the 6 to 12 minute range, but videos just reviewing 1 book would be closer to 6 minutes. Question 9. Do I have a favourite number? Yes, I do. 2. It's accessible. You can do it with 1 hand. First the worst, second the best. We all know this. It was also my volleyball number back in the day. We were really bad, but I was the libero, so I got a custom shirt with a big 2 on it. But yeah, I don't know, 2. Something about it. And the last question, do I have any books on my shelf with a number in the title or on the cover? I assume barcodes and price tags count. No, just kidding. But yes, I do. We've got 100 Years of Solitude, which at this rate will be spending 100 Years of Solitude on my shelf, but it's a lovely addition. Next we've got Lord of the Rings Part 1, 2 and 3, and it's not cheating because it says 3, 2 and 1. So that counts as 3. Then we've got George Orwell's 1984, which has been annotated by the previous owner, which is handy. We've got Page Turn, 5 Years From Now. I actually really enjoyed that book. It was like a light, nice read, and I got it for free from a hostel. Then we have One Day by David Nichols, a wonderful, wonderful book that I didn't finish. Round the World in 80 Days. I have read this before, but I'm planning to reread it, probably in April, because I don't really remember it. The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out of the Window and Disappeared. The Bronte Sisters 3. The Jane Austen 7. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which I'm definitely not effective enough to read. And The 4 Winds. I actually do need to read this, hopefully in April. And also 19 Minutes, which we've already discussed. Okay, I'm pretty puffed after that. But I think that was worthwhile, and I won't be checking my Kobo for any number-themed books. Oh, that brings us to the end of the Booktube Numbers Tag. Thank you so much for watching. I am going to tag Kushi Kishore, Read with Cheyenne, Novel Opinions, Chatty, the Mad Chatter, and Vada Silverscribe. I'm really enjoying watching all of the videos on those channels at the moment, so please go and check them out. I will link all of their channels in the description box. I also just want to say a quick thanks to Gillian at Novel Opinions and MJ from Reading This Life for mentioning me recently in your videos. I really appreciate your support, so thanks so much. Well, that brings us to the end. Thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoy your evening or day or whatever it is where you are. And that'll be all. I will see you next time. Bye!